Hello and shalom, friends. Welcome to the Arukah Holistic Podcast, and I'm your host, Mayim Vega. I'm the founder of Arukah.com, the Holistic Life Academy, and here we explore paths to holistic healing, transformation, and empowerment, offering training through the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, where our students learn naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing. But today, I am thrilled to introduce an inspiring guest, Kristina Heagh-Avritt. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay,
Pretty
great.
close. Hey,
Okay.
Avery.
Hey, Avritt. Okay, I'm trying to pronounce it with a Hebrew accent. But okay, she is an educator and founder of Vibrant Family Education with 27 years of experience in teaching. Kristina is on a mission to transform the way families approach education. Now, through her work, she empowers parents to go beyond traditional academics by fostering qualities like compassion, integrity, and a growth mindset. Kristina believes in a holistic approach to education, guiding children to recognize their unique strengths and learning styles so they can thrive. In our conversation, Kristina will share insights on navigating educational challenges, dispelling common myths about homeschooling, and supporting children through family challenges. Her message aligns closely with the mission of Arukah to empower families and individuals to realize their highest potential. Welcome, Kristina. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with your group.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I invited you here because I'm a homeschool mom. I have
Mhm,
7 children of my own, plus 2 more that I homeschool.
mhm.
Actually, more than two. Sometimes people bring me their children to homeschool them randomly as well. When you have a lot of children, they're like, "Oh, she can handle 9. She can handle one more, no problem." But
Depends
eh,
on the day, I think.
yeah, it depends on the day. So, anyways, Christina, can you just start off and tell us more about your story and how you got to doing what you do?
Thank you so much. Yeah. So my story starts way back actually in second grade. In second grade, I looked at my second grade teacher and I told her, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take your job. I'm going to be a teacher when I grow up. And my teacher, my second grade teacher was like, wait, what? You want to be a teacher? It's like, yes, that's exactly it. And so I did follow that career path. I went into education and I was so fortunate that I went back to my elementary school and I taught in the same school with that teacher 1 year before she retired. So I didn't take her spot, but I was there when she retired.
Wow,
And so
that's
that was a great way to start off my teaching career. And so then over 27 years, I taught from kindergarten through fifth grade, all throughout the different grades and levels and things like that. But near the end of my career, this big thing called COVID happened. And so teaching changed, the online programs became more relevant and updated and things like that. And during those 2 years, I was actually in the online school at my school district, and I helped develop the kindergarten through second grade program for that school district. But when I was teaching in that space, I realized that there was so much more that could be done for families who wanted to take charge of their child's education. Because as I was teaching those families in that online school, I was also coaching parents, helping them figure out how to help their children learn better, how to change their schedule so that their children were learning at a better time for them, all of those different kinds of things. And I realized it was time for me to leave the public education and do this new passion work that I absolutely adore and love, is helping families and making sure they're getting a good fit education for their child. Because I also know, being from the classroom, that it's not a great fit for all of our kids anymore. And sometimes we need something different. And that's where the empowering parents come into play. I really want the parents involved in their child's education and doing what's best for them, even if it means pulling them out and homeschooling. So then I started my company, Vibrant Family Education. And like you were saying, it's a holistic approach. Yes, I help with the academics. I help make sure that the families are on track for meeting learning standards and benchmarks for their child. But we also go deeper than that. We go into family development. We go into making sure that the family is growing in healthy lifestyle and life skills as well, making sure our children are fostering that love of learning as well as just the academics.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great because yeah, I remember I was when I had to homeschool two other children that were not my own birth children.
Mhm.
I realized that these children needed a lot more than reading, writing, and arithmetic. They
Yes.
really needed to learn some very foundational skills that they were not taught when they were younger.
Mhm.
Life skills that are very important to
Yeah.
get along in society, in a normal family environment,
Yeah.
in a friend, a peer group,
Mhm.
and also just like self-care, just some basic things,
Yes.
manners. And these are all things that children need to learn. It's not just about academics, it's also about how you get along with people, how you communicate, how well you handle emotions and tough situations in life. All these things are really, really important. And a lot of these things that I just mentioned, they are not taught in school anyway. So
Yeah.
parents, the children that do the best are the children who have parents, even if they are in public school, but their parents do their part to make sure
Yes.
that they cover all the other bases. And I really see whether it's public school or private school, that they are only an extension of what primarily is the parents' responsibility to
Yes.
impart and teach their children. They're only there to help. They're not the main ones to do that job. So, anyways, could you please go into now just the myths that surround education?
Yeah, so actually there's three that I really, really like to talk about. And the first one is that I would never have enough time to educate my child at home. And that is something that a lot of it has to do with they think that they have to take the full 6 hours or 7 hours that they do in the school and bring it into their home and really spend that much time teaching their children. And the myth is because you don't have to spend that much time because you transform the learning, you transform the lessons into integrating with the life of the family, right? So they do most of their learning by living life and being with the other family members, like you were saying, and experiencing life, like going out and doing community service or something like that. And the actual academics, because they don't have the distractions of 27 other kids in the same classroom or going to lunch, going to recess, going to PE, all those shifts of time, it actually only takes anywhere from half an hour when you're little, kindergarten, first grade. There's not a lot that you have to really sit down and do, up to about 2 to 4 hours if they're high school and things like that. So if you look at that full time that you think it takes, and then what it really takes when you're homeschooling and doing it in a more life fluid kind of way, yeah, that's the first myth, is that it doesn't take as long and you would have time.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because I'm an entrepreneur. I have several businesses, including a nonprofit organization
Mm-hmm.
that I run and manage. And of course, I hire people. I have a team to help me with all the functions. But I started my journey when I had, shortly after I had my first child. Now I'm responsible for nine, seven
Mm-hmm.
of my own plus two more that I
Yeah.
homeschool um, daily, except for Fridays. We have a 4 hour school week. Excuse me, 4 day school week. We have a 4 day school week, Monday through
Yes.
Thursday. And I do everything. And it's absolutely possible. If I can do it as an entrepreneur with multiple businesses and a nonprofit and nine children,
Mm-hmm.
anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And you're absolutely right. It's exactly as you said. You do not think that we have to do it according to the public school schedule
Right.
or model or anything like that. And let me also say, because I say that there's like people are saying, well, are you any good at it? And let me say
Right.
this. Let me say this is that my oldest is 21 now, and
Mm-hmm.
he majored in computer science. He started college at age 16. That was my goal. That was my goal,
Yep.
that I want my children in college by age 16. And he graduated with his bachelor's of science degree in computer science at age 19.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And while he was doing that, he started his own business while he was in college, freelancing.
Yep.
Um, doing digital marketing for various all sorts of companies, all sorts of different types of companies. And now and then after he graduated computer science, he's continuing his education. He's studying cybersecurity, and he still has his business. And compared to where I was at age, at when I was age 20, 21, I was like, I was nowhere. Like he has surpassed me already because of everything that I've given him in his homeschool life. And I think one secret too is that because we don't have 6, 7, 8 hour days, they're not as tired of school by the time they're in college. A lot of children are tired of school. They don't want to go to college because they're all schooled out. They're like, give me a break. And so a lot of times people want to children want to take a break after graduating high school. They don't want to go straight to college. And it's just so empowering, just the way that homeschooling works and how much you can accomplish. Of course, you have to do it the right way. And I know a lot of parents, they, being an entrepreneur, we're very like self-driven. We're like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to do this my way. A lot of people don't have that confidence. And so that's why I love what you are doing. You're helping parents to gain the confidence that they need and the ideas that they need to make it work for them, to make it work efficiently. And so you just covered the first myth. What is the second myth that you'd love to talk about?
Well, the second myth follows right after that first one. And the second myth is that I can't teach my own children. I'm not a teacher. I did not go to school to be a teacher. There's no way I can present the academics, especially if they weren't good at school themselves. So there are parents who are like, there's no way. Only teachers can be teachers, right? And that's the second myth. And part of that, unfortunately, is our society, is that they've set up the teachers on this pedestal. Oh, only they can teach your children, right? But what I say to that is, you are your child's first best teacher. And if you think about it, you've been that teacher since the day you brought them home from the hospital or the day you adopted them or whatever. You've been teaching them their whole life. And even though a teacher might have credentials and they might have a little bit more about child development or something under their belt, you know your child best. You know their sleeping patterns. You know their learning patterns. You know when they're wide awake and ready to learn and when they need downtime. You know their emotional patterns. So even though you don't think you can be their teacher, you absolutely are from the very beginning. And if you are invested in this, you absolutely can be their academic teacher as well. But like you said, that's part of the reason I stepped into the role I'm doing, is that when you don't have that confidence, or maybe you get stuck teaching a concept, that's where I come in. I either go beside the parent and help teach the concept for the child, or I teach the parent and then they go back and work with the child. I really help try to build that confidence. And once they get going, they really realize that they are more powerful and more empowered than they thought they were.
I love that. Thank you so much for saying all that. And so I'm Jewish, and my audience for my podcast are mostly Christians and Jews. We're very holistic minded.
Yes.
And because of that, I'd like to share that, in the Bible, in the Torah, it says, and you shall teach these words of mine to your children, and you shall speak of them when you rise up, when you lie down, when you walk by the way, and when you are sitting in your house. And I believe this is what my husband's brother taught us, is that all of God's commandments are enablements. They are empowerments. He doesn't command us to do things that we can't do. Because he commands us to teach our children, that is why we can do it. That is why we are the best people to do it. And if you look at the Bible, if you look at the biblical model, there is no such thing as public schools except for two exceptions. One of them was the school of the prophets. And this was not until later in life. This was like probably when they were like at least 12 or 13 years old. They were very self-sufficient at that time before they could enter the school of the prophets. The second example that we see a community type school is in Babylon during the exile of the Jewish people. And so that was a punishment. It was a punishment because we were forced to give over our children to a system that we weren't necessarily a part of and didn't believe in. And it took a lot of strong minds and strong souls and strong mothers to make sure that after giving their children to this secular system, this non-Israelite, non-biblical system, that their children were still strong enough to withstand societal, government, basically pressure, and still be who they were meant to be, which was to be children of God and light unto the world, etc. And we have that same calling today, especially, people who are listening to my channel, who, Christians and Jews. Yep. We have a special calling. We are a special people who walk in the faith of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And because of that, whether you homeschool or not, but if you choose to homeschool, that's awesome, because that is part of our calling. And you don't have the confidence yet. That's why Kristina is here to help you. So what is the third myth? I know you said there were three, right? What's the third one?
Yes, there are three. And the third one is the one you probably hear the most. Oh no, how are you going to socialize your child? How are they not going to be the weird child because they aren't playing with other kids? And I am just like, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, parents, think about this for a second. If you're sending them to school, they're only interacting basically with the same age child. That child and your child are both trying to learn together. They don't have a model to learn from and grow from. And if you're able to bring your child home, that's what I calling homeschooling is education at home. If you can bring them home and educate them at home, you get to help them experience and learn things from all ages, and you get to expose them and help them to know how to learn in society. And one way I say to do that is make sure that, they are in their sports clubs, their music clubs, things like that, with kids their own age or around their same age. But it's a different kind of socialization because those kids want to be there. They're not picking on each other. They're interested in what's happening. All of those things that make school kind of hard, especially like recess and things like that. But then you also get to take them out for community service or religious groups or whatever your family finds value in. And then they get to interact with ages below, like at the park with little kids, and then adults and teenagers above in youth group and things like that. So the socialization is the least of your worries if you're an invested parent, and most likely you're an invested parent if you're planning on bringing education home.
Yes, absolutely. Let me back that statement up by a talk that I heard a college professor give one day. He said that he was part of he was a teacher at a college that had a lot of homeschool children that went there. It wasn't only for homeschool children, but they had a lot. They weren't the majority, but they made up a good percentage, more than other colleges. And he said that the homeschooled children were better socialized than the children that went to public school. He saw that the children, just like you said, the children who went to public school, they got along fine with their children, their students their own age, but they didn't know how to socialize very well with adults or students that were not in their same grade. And that homeschool children were much more comfortable socializing with anyone in any age group. Number one, he said that also the biggest weakness that he saw in homeschool children was not socialization, but was actually in testing. That homeschool children were not very used to being in timed tests because I guess their parents, just didn't, it's not a requirement, and they just didn't do that. But there's ways to definitely get around that if you homeschool. Personally, I'm a very social person. I'm like super extrovert, and my husband's the opposite. I believe that if you have parents that are, if both of them are very introverted, then it becomes extra important for you to, provide your children with opportunities to socialize, just like you said. But if you're extroverted like me and you take your children wherever you go, that it's going to socialization, it'll be just very, very natural. My oldest son is also super extroverted, and when sometimes we put him in classroom settings when we were homeschooling him, because just different like co-op or classes that you'd sign up for. or, religious school or whatever. And I saw he was like class clown, always distracting everyone. And I'm like, this super social student, he needs to be homeschooled, or else he's just going to be a distraction for everyone else, And but he definitely needed a lot of socialization, so we had to provide him with lots of opportunities for that. And so the COVID years, they were very hard for him, but we got through them. Anyways, so did we cover 3? No, those.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. But just to follow up on that, I've also seen a study where college professors and stuff say that they are looking for homeschool children now because they come with those life skills, those life experiences. They aren't they aren't like fish out of water trying to figure out how to be on their own and take care of all their daily life tasks and go to school at the same time, because most of them have done that. So just another plug for homeschool kids really can take care of college too.
Yeah. Yes. Very interesting. So my friend who's a doctor and an entrepreneur, he's all into personal development and things, and he's always telling me the latest, the whatnot. And he was saying that we're very close. Our families and our children, are very close friends as well. He was saying that he was listening to something, and it said that there was research done that showed that the adults that are most successful, a very common trait among them was that when they were children, they either had a lot of chores to do in the home, or they worked in their family's family business.
Yes.
And so that's like no problem with your homeschooling. They're the students, but they're also the janitors, and they're the cooks, and they're the babysitters.
Especially when you have 9 of them, right?
Yes. And it's excellent life experience. It teaches them management skills, it teaches them, it teaches them how to just care for them. Like, we go grocery shopping together, we do everything together. So many of them, starting at age, like, let's say 13, I'm like, yeah, if you were the same person, just 5 years older, you'll do just fine. You know how to shop, you know how to use a credit card, you know how to gas up a car, you know how to cook, you know how to clean, you have basic manners, like, you're awesome, and not at age 18, but like starting at age 13, I really see that in my children.
Yeah. Excellent.
So what do you believe are some effective ways to support children through family challenges?
This one is near and dear to my heart, and it goes back to my teaching years, because whenever I first started teaching, I thought, I had it all figured out. I had the academics, I could work with the kids and everything else. And then this whole thing called life and emotions came into the classroom, right? And so as I got to know all my children each year, I would notice when a child would either be quieter than normal, or more not obnoxious, noisier than, more outspoken than normal, right? Or there was just something off with them. And whenever that kind of stuff would happen, I would always call the parents. It's like, okay, something's going on. I noticed that Julie is not acting like herself. Maybe she's more emotional or something. And that leads us into my very first tip of how to help children through those challenging times. If you're having your child be away from you at school, at daycare, etc., and there's something going on in your family, it could be a happy thing going on, or it could be a not so happy thing going on. But please communicate with that person that is with your child when you're not around. So for example, when I would make those phone calls, I would say, hey, what's happening with Johnny? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, our dog isn't doing very well, and he's really sad because the pup's going to go away pretty soon. And it's like, well, I would love to know that kind of stuff as a teacher who cares about your child, because then I can help them through that whenever they're having those emotional times in the classroom. Or maybe it was the opposite. Oh yeah, we're taking off for Disneyland this weekend, and they're just like super excited off the roof, right? But I would always talk to my parents and say, please communicate that stuff with me, because then when they're having their emotional ups and downs, I'm there to support them. So instead of getting in trouble for their outbursts or whatever, then I'm there to support them and say, hey, remember, I know you're super sad right now, or I know you're super excited right now, but in class, we want to make sure we're doing the best we can to pay attention and do a good job. So instead of them being in trouble at school and then having trouble with their academics, and then maybe even getting trouble at home with all of these things that are going on, they're supported and they're helped through, and they're still being able to be academically successful as well. So number one is please communicate with those people who are around your children when you can't be there, especially when these bigger life challenges are happening.
Beautiful. Okay, I know we're running short on time soon, but and I could I could talk to you for a long time, but we gotta go soon. So I just one final question, closing thought before we end is how can holistic education transform both academic and personal growth?
I love that question because the light and the shine of your children, whenever they're learning something that they are super interested in, when they don't lose the love of learning because it's squashed out of them in the public school, when they're able to really embrace their experiences and really move forward, you can just see that this holistic education, it sets them up for life success. It sets them up for academic success, and it really sets them up to be human. And that is where the holistic comes in for our company, Vibrant Family Education, is that we want humans who know how to be good humans. They're kind, they're respectful, they know how to take care of things that they need to take care of, and they love learning enough that they're going to keep propelling themselves forward and be a benefit for society and for everyone around them.
Amen. I love that. Okay, well, now, lastly, if anyone is interested in working with you or following your work, I know you have a website, podcast, YouTube, etc. Can you just we'll put the links on the show notes, but if you could just talk about it a little bit.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You can get a hold of me at vibrantfamilyeducation.com. I have a contact link there. I have my different programs that I have as well as a full page about our podcast called Bringing Education Home, where we conduct interviews with experts to help families develop and grow. So just find me at vibrantfamilyeducation.com, or just go there because all my connections are there.
Okay, that's so beautiful. Thank you again so much, Kristina, for everything that you do and everything that you're helping children, parents, families with.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, shalom.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Algar and I am the host of Expertise TV, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to our guest today, Mayim Vega. Now, Mayim Vega is a former NASA computer scientist turned holistic healer after facing a very personal health crisis, which the modern medical system could not resolve. In 2009, she founded Arukah.com, which offers an holistic healer certification program focusing on 3 pillars: naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing to empower people to become holistic healers and achieve maximum impact in the world. Mayim combines her scientific background, natural healing methods, and faith in the creator and great physician to guide others on a path to personal and professional well-being. Mayim, it's clear that you are very passionate about the topic of holistic health, and particularly helping people who are wanting to transition into this approach. How did you find yourself in this line of work, and why is this work so important to you?
Thank you, Ashley, for taking the time to speak with me. And I'd love to answer that question. So the way I found myself in this line of work starts with my story of when I transitioned from becoming a computer scientist at the NASA Ames Research Center to becoming an entrepreneur and building my first online business in digital marketing. And the reason why I did that is so that I could stay at home and be with my newly born son at the time. And now I have 7 children of my own, and I always wanted to homeschool them and just be there for them. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. But my first few years as an entrepreneur was extremely difficult. And I thought it was healthy, but later on, after all my studies, I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not very healthy. They were not very healthy habits that I had. And what ended up happening was I got really sick and I thought I was on my deathbed. And I was rushed to the emergency room. And the doctor actually thought that I had a brain tumor. But after extensive testing and examination, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I just, I was experiencing a lot of pain, but they had nothing for me. There was nothing they could do for me. She said that she could give me some really strong painkillers, but that's really it. She couldn't really get rid of the problem. And so I took the painkillers, but again, painkillers and any pharmaceutical drug never address the root cause of illness and disease. And that's exactly why this line of work is so important to me and why I went on my own personal journey to become a holistic healer, to study nutrition, herbalism, holistic health, and holistic life coaching, is because we all know people, and maybe probably even ourselves, who, just like me, went to the modern medical system because that's the expected thing to do. That's a normal thing to do. And, tried to get health and healing that way, but hit a dead end, hit a brick wall, and we either got medications that didn't work or that only worked for a while, or that caused side effects that were so terrible that we had to get on other medications, plural, and maybe even the medication or medications caused side effects that caused other health issues. And sometimes the health issues are worse than the first problem that you originally had. And we're on this ridiculous roller coaster of drug after treatment after procedure, because the modern medical system never addresses the root cause. And medical professionals who have woken up know this. And that's why I have medical professionals in my program, including, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical technicians, etc., who are learning from me, who are, taking the certification program because they realize that our system is broken and we need to fix it. It is our destiny as humanity to overcome all this nonsense, really. We can do better and we will do better. I know it. And that's why, in my certification program, sometimes I joke around. No, it's not really a joke, but I say, I'm empowering not just holistic healers, but holistic warriors. We're in a battle. We're in a battle over our own health and healing to safeguard and protect that, and that of our families and friends and community, of course, as well. And we're also in a battle against very powerful people who, because of profits, like to suppress holistic health and healing truths to keep us just sick enough so that we need something, pharmaceuticals, but not well enough to ever get off them. That is truly the goal of big pharma, of the pharmaceutical industry. It's not true. They don't want to heal us. They don't want to cure us. They want to keep us just sick enough so that we keep giving them our money. And you know what? Me personally, I have better things to spend with my money, like on good food, clean herbs, things that don't cause these ridiculous side effects that we experience with pharmaceutical drugs.
Thank you, Mayim. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the key benefits of transitioning from the conventional healing approach to a holistic approach in health and healing?
Okay, so that's another really great and important question. The key benefits of transitioning from conventional healing to a holistic approach are, right now, I can think of three main reasons. Number one, the holistic approach is safer. Number two, the holistic approach is more effective. And number three, the holistic approach is the true approach that gets to the root cause. Okay. Now, I'd like to illustrate the first point, the safety of holistic medicine. If someone who was taking some, let's say blood pressure medication or something like that, visited me at my house, let's say I invited them over for dinner, and let's say they had to take some of their medicine and they dropped one of their pills, right, in my dining room or in my living room floor. Now I have very small children. I have a 4-year-old. And what if my 4-year-old found that pill on the floor and thought it was candy or something like that and put it in her mouth and ate it? What would happen? I would immediately have to call the poison control center to get that pill out of her system, because those pills can have deadly side effects. But what if someone dropped a vitamin C pill or a tincture, you know, um, you know, and one of my children found it? For the most part, if they found it and took it, they might have a little diarrhea. It might be really spicy on their tongue, and so they would stop taking it. But no, I wouldn't have to control the poison control center, because vitamins and herbs and minerals are extremely, like 1,000 times safer than pharmaceutical drugs. There's a few types of, supplements that you might have to call the poison control center, but for the most part, no, you won't have to do that, because our body knows how to work with those substances. It is not a drug. It is a healing tool. Okay. So completely safe. Also, exercise, diet, those are all safe, right? Sleep, those are all part of holistic health and healing. Completely safe, zero side effects. Now, let's talk about the effectiveness. The holistic approach is more effective. And the reason why we know this is because in my practice, and this is the experience of many holistic healers, when it comes to the conventional ways with the pharmaceutical drugs, as I said before, they don't deal with the root cause. They just mask symptoms. So, you might take a cough suppressant, let's say, for example, but if you are not dealing with the root cause, why are you coughing in the first place? Why do you have allergies? Why do you have the flu, etc.? Why is your immune system not strong enough to overcome this in just a few hours or just a day or two, overnight? Why? Because you have not built up your immune system. You haven't boosted it or lived the kind of life that you need to in order to avoid those common illnesses altogether. I have one of my students is a medical doctor, and she said that she used to take anti-allergy drugs every single week because of her allergies. The allergy drugs don't boost your immune system. They just suppress it. They just oppress your allergy symptoms. But when you have allergy symptoms, it's your body talking to you and telling you, hey, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this thing that you're eating or this environment that you've just stepped into because of my state of being. I'm not strong enough. That's what your immune system is saying to you. But I taught her a really powerful vitamin protocol that actually boosts your immune system so that your immune system is strong enough to overcome allergies. And so that's the difference. It is effective because it is true. It is true holistic health and healing because it strengthens your immune system. It doesn't silence it, like I said before. And the third issue is the root cause. Holistic health and healing deals with the root cause, and the conventional approach of drugs and surgery, etc., does not. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't need surgery, for example, or in an emergency situation need a drug, but you're not dealing with the root cause. And if you deal with the root cause, you can make your problems either go away or become extremely minimal, safely, effectively, and naturally, without poisoning your body and causing the roller coaster of side effects.
Mayim, you have developed an incredible program that you've already mentioned called the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, which you have specifically created for those looking to either transition into the holistic approach or for those who are wanting to grow in their knowledge and practice. Can you talk us through what differentiates this program from other similar programs that are currently out there?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, the certification program at arukah.com is really, truly incredible. And there's a few things that set it apart, actually, many things, but I'd like to focus on a few. And one of them is that when I designed the program, I designed it for someone who was in my situation many years ago, someone who was a busy mom who had a lot of work to do and a lot of things on her plate, but still wanted to empower herself with the knowledge of holistic health and healing for herself, for her family, so she could take care of her family, and maybe even build a career where, very specifically, she could stay at home and, just like me, be a stay-at-home mom. And even a homeschool mom. I've been a homeschool mom. My oldest is 20 now, and I homeschooled him the whole way. And he's already graduated college, and he's got a computer science degree. And he's an entrepreneur himself. I instilled that dream in him. So being able to, I was able to surpass my income at NASA, and still homeschool my children. It's pretty awesome achievement. And so I wanted to empower people in my program to do exactly the same as I've done, to become a holistic healer, to have a successful online business so that they can have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, meaning that there's no glass ceiling. No one who you need to get a raise from. You just have to help people. That's how I get paid, is when I help people, right? And so that's one of the advantages. Another advantage is it's very hands-on and apprenticeship based. And you could go to a college to study to become a naturopathic doctor, or another holistic professional like a chiropractor. But it's going to take a lot more money, and a lot more time as well. This program can be completed in 1 year, but because all of my students pretty much are busy professionals already, or busy moms, it's self-paced. So if you have a lot of things on your plate, it's okay. It's still going to be there for you. There's not like a time limit. You're not going to, your grade's not going to be lowered because you submit an assignment late or anything like that. It's self-paced. And so I've designed it for the busy mom, or the working woman. And another thing that sets it apart is we have three core pillars in our program. One is that our students study naturopathic herbalism. And that takes up the bulk of our program. And naturopathic herbalism includes studying the foundations of holistic health and healing, identifying toxins and detoxification, also nutrition and orthomolecular nutrition, or megadose vitamin therapy, as well as herbalism, which includes also homeopathy and aromatherapy with essential oils. And also they study Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. But it's mostly focused on Western medicine, Western herbalism, excuse me. And then the next core pillar, the second one, is holistic life coaching. And the reason why holistic life coaching is part of the program is to incorporate the mind spirit aspect of it, right? If herbs and supplements are the alternative to pharmaceutical drugs, well, holistic life coaching is like the holistic alternative to psychiatry. It deals with the mind and the spirit, and spirit has to be part of it because we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings. We're also spiritual beings. Now, a lot of holistic health and healing schools are based on different religions, New Age, or other pagan religions. And this program, because I'm Jewish, is based on the Creator. It's based on the Bible and biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles. And so, therefore, I have a lot of people who are of that faith persuasion. Jews, Christians, or people who maybe they don't really identify as Jewish or Christian, but they're open to it, or they grew up in that faith, and they don't necessarily want all the new age spirituality. They want the kind of spirituality that they are comfortable with and used to. That's another thing that sets us apart. And life coaching is all about mindset and how to have healthy relationships with yourself, with others. Of course, also, with food and your body and lifestyle. Holistic life coaching encompasses all of that. And it's a very important part of holistic health and healing, especially because stress is often the root cause of many illnesses, common illnesses, and also chronic diseases. So, that mind and spirit aspect is very important. And the third aspect is online business marketing. And again, the reason why that's important is because, as I told you, I really want my students to thrive and to be able to, have that time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, which an online business provides. But also because, there's not a lot of jobs for herbalists, or life coaches even. And so we really have to be entrepreneurial. And it's very, very rewarding. And because of my background, with my digital marketing business, my first business, I can really help people in that department.
Thanks so much, Mayim. So I love the power of testimony and hearing people's personal experiences or journeys. Can you share some of the success stories that might be coming to mind or testimonials from past students?
Yes, we certainly have a lot of success stories and testimonials, and we'll show some of those testimonials at the end of our talk today in this video. But I could talk about a few of them that are maybe recent. One of them is one of my students. She told me that she wanted to become a nutritionist, but I guess her life's journey didn't really allow for that. So when she heard about my program, my certification program, when it first launched, she joined, and she really wanted to help her husband, who had been suffering from colitis under the care of doctors for about 20 years, ever since he was in the military. And he was going from medication to medication and, suffering with diarrhea and insomnia and restless legs and indigestion and, all these terrible things that colitis can cause. And so I actually created a custom module for her to help her husband with that. And in 2 months, she helped her husband get off the medication and heal from colitis using food and herbs and natural holistic healing methods. So that was a great accomplishment for her. And, I get people, contacting me saying that I helped them grow their hair back, or actually someone said, "Oh, you helped save save a little girl's life," just beautiful, wonderful things like that. You helped me heal my daughter, you helped me grow, regrow my teeth so I don't have pain from cavities anymore, like just all these wonderful testimonies. And that's the reason why I love doing what I do. And and you will too, if you join the program. It's so rewarding and fulfilling to understand and to know that you are helping people, truly helping people in ways that they can't get in the modern medical system. It's so rewarding.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mayim. I can only imagine the sense of reward when people start applying these principles to their lives and actually see a change and transformation. And for somebody as passionate as you are around this topic, to witness that and to be a part of that, I imagine that the reward is priceless. Another common question that arises is, once someone completes the program, what are some of the practical steps one would take in order to start a successful career in holistic health?
Okay, that's a great question. And that's actually what the third pillar of our program is all about is, what do you do? Practical steps and what you would do to start a successful career in holistic health. And in that program, we teach our students how to create a high ticket transformational health coaching program that really helps people deal with a serious problem, a serious health issue. And that doesn't mean that it's a deadly, problem, but it can be something that really affects their life, right? Even skin disorders can really affect your life, right? Even though it's not necessarily deadly. Weight loss could be something that is dealing with a serious issue. There's so many different types of health coaching programs that one can make, anxiety, depression, hormonal issues, etc. So they build, it's part of the program. They will do this while they're still in the program, and we'll support them the whole way, is to build that first high ticket health coaching program, and then set up their online assets, such as their website, their social media, a video sales letter, press releases, podcasts, all those things that online entrepreneurs need in order to connect with people, get their message of health and healing out there, and build and grow and scale their business.
Thank you so much, Mayim. It's been so great talking with you today. But before we close, for those that would like to get started on the journey to becoming an holistic healer and wanting to learn a little bit more about the certification program, how do they go about contacting you?
Yes, it's been wonderful talking to you today as well. And for all those who would like to get started on their journey to become a holistic healer and learn more about the certification program, all they need to do is visit the website, www.arukah.com, ARUKAH.com, and dig into that and schedule a discovery call. And I would love to be your mentor, your health coach, your teacher in guiding you to become a holistic healer, to become the healer of your home and your family and your community, and to help you build a profitable online health coaching business.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mayim. So there we have it, folks. If you are ready to move forward in your own journey of becoming a holistic healer, then you can visit the website at www.arukah.com, where you can schedule your first discovery call. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.